Stay Together talk show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with Brenda McCain. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. I just realized that I need to get up for a second because I came in there and was working on something and took my ring off, and I got to go put my ring on. So I'm gonna let you talk for a second. Welcome to the people in the show, and I'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. This is Brenda McCain show for at least 2 minutes. And so I want to say happy Tuesday to you.
McCain show, really?
Yeah, I said for 2 minutes so you get back. So do what you got to do and come on back. But today we have a great show coming up. And right now I want to give kudos to my girlfriend Bernadine Baldwin Thomas. Her birthday is tomorrow, so I want to say happy birthday to you, young lady. And also, congrats again to my sister in law, Vanessa, even though she's been retired. But Juvenile Detention Center, JDC, gave a beautiful ceremony today for the retirees that work there. She put her 30 years in, helping the little children that's incarcerated, for a short time. But it was beautiful. So congratulations to her and happy birthday to Bernadine again. Hopefully, even though that's tomorrow, but hopefully her day will be great. And I know my sister-in-law future days are going to be really great because she won't have to clock in no more. And that was less than 2 minutes. So now we will resume to our regular show. Let's stay together, talk. He's
Well,
getting ready and he's back.
we got an issue with this show being changed the name just for 2 minutes. I'm gonna make sure we change the name of Ife Designs to Rick Designs for a few seconds before we get here. But I just don't like not having my ring on. But I was moving something out the way and pressing up against my hand. But let's get going. We got to get on. And it's sold away 2 minutes from the time there. Apologize for that. But yeah, we do got a great show. You did give the shout out Vanessa for her anniversary, retirement. For those who don't know who Vanessa is, she's my sister. So, give some clarification of why we're doing that. You got anything else you want to shout out before we go?
No.
Okay, so what are we talking about for today?
On Christian Real, we're talking about why it's important to vote.
So, we've got about, 14 days or something like that to vote. Number one, me and Brenda did vote. I was going to bring our little voting thing in, but I forgot to get that in there with us. But we voted on Monday, yesterday. And it's nice to see the voting place was kind of, somewhat full. Small location. And it seemed like they don't necessarily know where people should go. So if you are going to go do early voting, make sure that you find out from your office, your city hall office, if you don't know where the voting location is at, because we were told one thing. Brenda was right at first, but I saw something and we went to another location. I thought they were doing some voting there, but it wasn't. Then the woman told us to go to another town, which was wrong. So we went to the city hall and they told us exactly what it was, which is what Brenda said in the first place. But it's you want to make sure that you get there and vote. And I think one of the things that this older man had said to me when he was walking out of the voting booth, he was saying to me, it's good to see people to vote, but he said, I want to see young people. I want to make sure we get some young people there. So we're definitely calling out for young people to get out and vote, because you never really pay attention to things as a young person about how things or how situations can affect your vote. But what was the title of this thing again? I know I said what it was, but I forgot what the title was.
Why it's important to vote.
Why is it important to vote? So let me give you a scenario on things that can happen. Because a lot of times young people will sit there and say, hey, why not going to vote? It's not really going to affect me. I can hear that. So they'll say, why that's happening. Okay, so now just so now she can't figure out the new laptop, so we'll get that going.
I'm just going to go off for that
Now
then.
she can't figure out the new laptop, so we'll get that going.
He's gonna put it right here, I think.
But here.
Right. We getting it together, people. This thing right here. We getting it together.
Go to where it's at. Lord have mercy. So I will apologize for the inconvenience. You got a new laptop here, and now it's actually saying it's duplicating what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now it's actually saying it's duplicating what I'm saying. Top row of buttons.
Is it,
Top row of buttons. On the keyboard itself, hit F10. On the keyboard itself, hit F10. I can't see that, so just hit it. Hold on for a second. Jesus Christ. Hit it.
well, that's one with a speaker.
Kenny, I'm frustrated right now, so I'm frustrated right now, so because I can't find this thing anywhere.
See, it keep popping up here.
That's your garbage can.
I see it as F5 with a microphone. I see it as F5 with a microphone. Okay, F10.
Okay, so that's probably stopped it. This is when we're so happy we have a producer to help us out, and now I got to get my mind back together again. So again, apologize for the inconvenience for those of you who are listening. Why is it important to vote? So a lot of times people will sit there and say that, because of their age, especially if you're between the age of 18 and sometimes 30, they don't really look at how, voting right now will necessarily affect them in their future or their situation they're present right now. But I want to give you a scenario of what happened within a 12-year period of how everything was set up within that 12 years to make a decision that is affecting the election today. So if you remember in 2008, one of the greatest things that's happened to the Black American history, President Barack Obama was nominated for president elected in 2008 to run. He won the presidency. So we are all excited about that. First black president that's ever, number 44, first black president. Well, during that time, Mitch McConnell, who was the head of the Senate, and the GOP, the Republican Party, made the decision that they were going to try to obstruct everything President Obama did. So we talk about sometimes make sure you know your local election for your Senate and your House. And so now President Obama comes in as a Democrat, but now he's fighting against a House and a Senate that is making the decision that for the next 4 and then the next 8 years, they're going to try to stop everything that he does. And so they did that throughout the 8 years. Now, at the end of his presidency, it was still a Republican-led Senate. And at that time, he had the opportunity to put in a Supreme Court judge. Now, he wanted to put in someone during that period, but the Republicans for almost a year, stopped the process. It says in February 23, 11 Republican members of the Senate Judicial Committee signed a letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell stating their unprecedented attention to withhold consent for any nominee made by President Obama, and that no hearing would happen or occur until after January 20th, which is going to be after the election process that was going to happen in November at that time. And so they held it off for all of that time, because they didn't want President Obama at that time to elect a Democratic choice for the Supreme Court. Now, they were hoping that somehow or another, Hillary Clinton wouldn't win and Trump would win. And that happened. Surprising to everybody. And I still say we as Democrats let Hillary down by thinking that she was going to landslide against Trump, and so we didn't vote. So now Trump comes into the office, and within the 4 years that Trump is in the office, I'm putting a story together for you, so you got to listen to this. Trump's budget deeply cut health care, housing, and other low and medium income assistance for families. Trump's 2021 budget would cut 1.6 trillion from low income programs. That's what he wanted to do. Cut 1.6 trillion from low income programs. That programs are like the SNAP program. And for some of you don't know what SNAP program is, it's a supplemental nutrition assistance program, formerly known as the food stamp program. It's a federal government program that provided low purchasing assistance for it provided food purchasing assistance for low and no income persons to help them maintain an adequate nutrition and health. Now, Trump was thinking about cutting that. He was thinking about cutting Medicare. He was thinking about cutting housing and rental assistance, cash assistance, and a program called non-defense discretionary programs. So the NDD indicates a substantial number of programs for people for low and modest income, such as low-income housing programs described by LIHEAP. It was cutting special assistance food programs for women, infants, and children. That was the WIC program. It cut Head Start and Job Corps part of a funding for the Pell Grants that people were getting to aid elementary and secondary education in low-income areas, and legal assistance corporations and other things. So this is all the stuff that Trump is in his 4 years was cutting or looking to cut, all hitting low income people. Okay. So again, President Obama comes in 2008. The Republican Party under Mitch McConnell says we're going to try to stop everything he did. They hated Obamacare. They even called it Obamacare because they thought it was ridiculous to find out that more whites was on Obamacare than anybody. But they don't want to say anything about that. But they said for the 4 years, and then he got reelected, and I'm like, darn it. He gets in there. So for 8 years, they fought him with everything and stopped the process of him putting in a Supreme Court judge. Okay. So at that time, the Supreme Court judge was 5 that the Democrats put in and 4 Republicans that put in. So now they stop it. Trump wins, and he gets an opportunity to appoint a judge, which was Neil Gorsuch. Now, that didn't really make any difference to the 5-4 split because Neil Gorsuch came in to replace Anthony Scalise. So he was a Republican person that was put into office Supreme Court by George Bush around about 2005. Conservative, thank you. 2005. So that didn't change the number. But what happened within Trump's term was unprecedented. An additional 2 Supreme Court judges were coming in. One was retiring by the name of Anthony Kennedy, and he was replaced in 2018 by Brett Kavanaugh. And then our girl, Ruth Bader Gingrich, she was going to retire in the next year. And at that time, they were assuming that, Biden would be the president. And so what the Republican Party did is that they reversed course. They had about 6 weeks before the election would come through. And they wanted to rush this process through. Now, it's a Republican-held Senate. Now, I keep on telling y'all sometimes, you might get Kamala Harris in there, but if we have her in there and the Republicans have the Senate or the House, they're going to give her hell. So you can't. People got mad at Obama. Obama didn't do anything for us. The Republicans basically said they were going to try to stop everything the man did. They didn't want anything he did. And when Trump got into office, he wanted to erase everything Obama did because they wanted to erase the process of a black man being the president. But now we have Brett Kavanaugh come in there. Now it's been changed from 5-4 to 5, from 5 on the Democrats have put into the office to 4 Republicans, now to 5 that the Republicans put in the office to 4 Democrats put in the office. And then all of a sudden when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passes away, they rush to put in Amy Coney Barrett, and now it's 6-3. Now, why is that so important? People say, why does that have anything to do with it? Well, the chief at that time that was taken over, who was the appointed chief Supreme Court justice, was named John G. Roberts Jr., and he was appointed in 2005. The issue with him was he didn't go Republican all the time on votes in the Supreme Court. He basically went by his gut on what he felt that was right. So he didn't stay on the Republican side always and have it like 5-4. They would always win. So what helped Republicans when Ruth Bader Gingrich, I'm saying it probably wrong, Gingrich, died, it was 6-3. So now they didn't have to worry about what Roberts would do, because even if he went to the other side, they would still have 5-4. Why is that so important? Because that was the decision that made sure we didn't have Roe versus Wade. So all the way from 2008 all the way down to 2022, you see a pattern of what the Republicans were doing to try to change the process of how elections would go and how things would go, how laws would go. Now, here's the thing. When Roe versus Wade was changed, Brenda, that was in 2022. Trump wasn't even in office, but he paved the way for it during the 4 years he was there by putting in 3 Supreme Court judges that was going to make the decision to vote to remove Roe versus Wade. He said, and when he was running for re-election, he wouldn't ask them to touch it. But then when it got changed in 2022, he took all the credit for it being removed. Why is this so important? Well, because Trump wasn't president, and he was able to make the decision on changing how we live our lives. If you don't think that Trump can't make a decision to change, they was trying to go through the immigrant program for the border, and they had a deal together. But Trump wasn't even president at the time, squashed the deal and told his Republican-led party not to do it because he wanted to use that to run for election. Young people, this happened within a 12-year period. You don't know what can happen within the time that you are supposed to be voting and you decide not to vote, what Republican parties can do. If you read Project 2025, you will see that they are trying to change a lot of things, education, Treasury. They are already having a plan in that 2025 that within 6 years, they want to totally eliminate Social Security. So that means people like me won't get Social Security assistance. They want to remove that entirely. And so it's so important, Brenda, that we understand a process that's happening, that the Republicans are doing to try to do something. When Trump sits there and says, I don't need your vote. If you vote one more time and you never have to vote again. Vote me in there one more time. This is a plan that's already been placed in the process where they don't have to worry about having a president anymore, because if I don't have to worry about there being a president, then maybe I don't have to worry about losing my job as a senator, because if he's there, maybe I can stay. And so Republicans are not going to fight that process, because if he wants to be a dictator and we follow that dictator, then we don't have to worry about maybe losing our seats either. So there's a process that's going on that we need to look at and understand this. Trump don't care about nobody. He told them that he would not, as he was running for election, he would not touch that Roe versus Wade. And yet, he'd already put in the process what he was going to do to get rid of it. And then when they voted to remove it, he took credit. And so this is a man that will lie and tell you anything. Yes, Christians, he'll tell you that he believes in some of the things that you believe in to get your vote. So we have to be very careful when we see that. Go back and look at what Trump did. He always keeps saying, I did so much for the black community. Go back and find out. Now, if you helped one or two black persons, that don't mean you did anything for the whole black community. You did something for one or two black persons so you can get them to talk to other people. Go back, Latinos, and see what Trump has done for the Latino population. He was the one that broke up the families, the immigrants that came over here, and broke up their families away from their children and placed them in different camps. So what I don't understand, and I think I was looking at Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. She said, with all of this stuff that Trump is doing and has done, the race is still too close to call. What does that say to us in America? That there is a racist agenda, that a man can do whatever he wants to do to win the presidency as long as he's white. Sorry to say that, because you know doggone well some of the stuff that Trump is saying. If Kamala Harris is saying that, they be ripping her. So pay attention to these things. Young people, we need you to go out there and vote, because things can change within a decade. This took 12 years, but things can change so quickly. And you were 18, now you're 28, and you don't even have the right to vote anymore. So, babe, I'm on my high horse about this, because we're getting really close. And I'm sick and tired of hearing these black men talking about they're going to vote for Trump. Trump doesn't care about anyone. He said to the governor of California, who's a Democratic governor, that if he doesn't do something, he would stop funding for the state, the whole state, because he didn't follow what Trump wanted him to do. You think Trump cares about you? Oh, I was doing much better when Trump was in office. He gave me a stimulus check. Trump ain't doing anything to help anybody. Trump wants to be like Putin. Trump wants to be like Hitler. He just said recently that he wants his generals to be like the generals that Hitler had, that would follow him to the T. He told somebody on the news that we need to have generals like Hitler had. He contacts Putin. He talks to dictators. What do you think he's trying to do? I mean, these people constantly talking about, well, he's just saying that for show, for effects. No, he's not. He's saying it because he knows that if he throws it out there and you all don't get bothered by it, then he can do it. Because we ain't saying nothing. Oh, that's just Trump. He just do. No, he's not. That's what people thought before he changed Roe versus Wade. Now, again, I say this constantly. I'm not for abortion. I'm not for it. But I do believe a woman should have a right to choose. That's you and God. If you make that decision, you and God. But he said he wasn't going to do nothing. So how can you trust this man? I mean, I don't understand this. And we need to make the critical decision, and they're saying this in every news outlet except Fox News, which is Trump news anyway, that this is gonna be one of the most pivotal elections in the American history, because what this man is trying to do, if he gets back into that office, he's going to do everything he can not to leave. It's like a squatter. He already the Supreme Court judges already said that he's immune as a president. So what we gonna do? Put him back in there? Okay. Wow, Kenny, what you got?
We will vote whatever party we've been voting for the longest. That's part of the problem as well, because I think there is a population of Republicans that probably don't per se care for how Trump is, but the thing is oh, he's running on the Republican ticket, so I've been voting for a Republican forever, so I'm just gonna vote for a Republican. Down the ticket, every Republican that's on the ticket, and vice versa on the other side. There's plenty of Democrats, the people that vote for Democrats all the time, that vote the same way. They vote down the ticket Democrat, even if the candidate, they don't necessarily like the candidate, they vote that way. So that's part of the problem as well. It's not just, don't get me wrong, is there an element of racism in there as well? Of course it is. But that's also a big problem as well.
I totally agree with you there. I mean, it's not like the racism is like, the only problem. It's almost like saying that the economy is the only issue. But I will say that you will see a lot of times that majority of white people will vote Republican, and they've been doing that for the longest. But when you have somebody that's a Republican, I have never seen in history where there's so many Republicans who are not secretly, but they're openly saying that this man is not fit to be president. You know, he's not fit to be president. So we got our guest coming in a second, but we're going to talk about this a little bit more. We're going to go with this segment, and then we're going to play some music in a second, and then we're going to come back. But we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Of course, we've got another more elections coming up, so we'll be talking about this again through the process. So, hey, Kenny, I'm going to have you go ahead and play the music. Then we're going to come back, and then we're going to have our guests on it. Like I said, we'll talk about this, why it's important to vote again. We'll talk about it a little bit more next week, and probably talk about it until the election time. So we're going to go into the music we have right here. I believe I am playing music from Ernest Pugh. And the first song is going to be Rain on Us. And listen up to the music, and we'll be right back. All right, babe, what you got for us on your end?
On my end, we're going to talk about one of these stories. Give me 1 second.
All right. So, hey, again, make sure you vote. Early voting in a lot of places have already started. Check whatever state you're in, check your location to find out when you can vote. Like I said, here in Illinois, we started voting on Monday. But wherever you are, check out, can you vote? I think me and Kenny was talking about there's some places, I think it's on like a week that you get a chance to vote. Is that right, Kenny? There was like 1 week, some places don't even allow you to do certain voting. They just it's got to be mail in, ballots. So wherever you're located at, make sure you check. And minorities, I am not. I'm not even gonna say I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to say minorities, get out and vote. You really need to get out and vote, because this is important that we show that we don't want to allow someone to get in there by telling us anything so he can get what he wants, and then when he gets in there, changes over, and we're like, well, you said, like, okay, well, you were fooled. They say this thing says, Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You got your story, babe?
Yeah, I do. This one is not a shock to me because the world has gone mad anyway. But former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch indicted on sex trafficking charges. Once again, someone with a slew of money believe that they have power to do whatever. Now, Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, has been indicted on 16 federal counts of sex trafficking and international prostitution in New York and is accused of leveraging a network of employees, contractors, and security professionals while he led the retailer. Now, what's getting me, he did this with his romantic partner, Matthew Smith. They had a whole little setup, Rick, to go out, groom some of the employees, groom some of the ones that they promised that they're going to make models that they promised. It just reminds you so much of P. Diddy and all of the other stuff that's going on. Everyone feels as though I got the money, I got the power, I could do whatever the heck I want to do, and I've been getting away with it for so long. And to me, it's like, wow, it need to be a whole new set of laws just for that. Because these people are losing their little minds. And I hope the 71-year-old go to jail.
Well, here's the thing that I don't like about it. This is so similar to Diddy, but yet it's not getting the same publicity, and it's not. He's not. You don't even hear anything about this man being under the jail. Or yeah. He's not a. Abercrombie and Fitch is a celebrity company. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that. I'm throwing it out there. I'm sorry. I think because he's white that they let him get away with it because what he did was just as egregious. These men are going to. They said these men were going to places where they were having sex with other men, favors so they can get these jobs with Abercrombie and Fitch, and he was doing this a lot. They said he was doing sex trafficking,
Yeah.
and so you know. Diddy, wasn't they saying Diddy was doing sex trafficking too? But it's like, okay, so Diddy is real famous. I don't know if does Diddy have more money than Abercrombie and Fitch? I don't know.
You know what?
You know.
I don't care. They both need to be under the cell. Whoever's doing that, raping, drugging, doing all of this stuff, they need to be shut down because they said it was giving them poppers, alcohol, lubricant, Viagra,
Lubricants, oh, God.
condoms, all of this stuff just to drug them and weaken them before they could just rape them. And it's like, who does that? And I'm like, is your sex drive that high that you going after anybody because you know you can do it and get away with it until now, that you could do this and nothing's going to be said about it? So as far as with Pitty and Mr. Smith and whoever doing this stuff now, kudos if they bring you down. Bring them all the way down. Put them all next to R. Kelly. What was the other man name? Weinstein, Einstein,
Yeah.
whatever. I think all of them freaks. And those are the words of Brenda McCain. They're freaks. It's just, you're getting tired of hearing this. The story is getting old.
I don't disagree with you and Kitty in saying they both should go to jail. I'm just saying that I just believe that Diddy's situation being similar to the CEO there is getting more publicity to me, not necessarily because of his fame, because of his color.
True.
And I think that they're gonna kind of this one I think is gonna get swept under the rug, and not highlighted as much. I mean, you still get stories coming out about Diddy. Are we going to hear more stories about this Abercrombie and Fitch?
hope
I
so.
did hear some story about some young man saying that he was sexually assaulted and it changed his life. But we're going to find out how that's going to work. I just I'm hoping I'm wrong, but because what Diddy did was wrong. What this guy did wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong. It's power. People that have power, they think they can do whatever they want to do. We are seeing that in the presidency. A man that thinks he has the power, he can do any wrong and then still get away with it. what's happening that this Pandora box is being opened where people are starting to see that, hey, if Trump can do it, if this person can do it, why can't I? You know, heck, we got a mayor that's crossed the village over here that thinks that she can do it. Nothing, she can't do anything wrong. So, I mean, it's this power hungry. But the Pandora box has been opened with Trump. I mean, the man, was a convicted felon, and he's running for president. I mean, you would have never heard that before. I mean, it wouldn't even been even thought of. No party would even thought about even putting them up to office as a convicted felon. But we'll see how that's going to work. Uh, Coming back. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author, Ife designer, Club 50, theater critic, whatever her titles are. Brenda McCain here. We've got a special guest on here, and so I did all the talking and Christian Real. I'm going to let Brenda talk, but before we do, I want to just say this. Make sure you watch the JD Morning Show each Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. only on SOAR Radio. It's Justin Kenny in the gang will be coming on talking about some of these subjects and even more. And if you think about having your own radio show, you can contact them at soar@soarradio.com. That's soar@soarradio.com. And the last thing, SOAR 2025 is going to be here in Chicago. So get your tickets. They're going to be going fast. Get your tickets now for SOAR 2025. Baby, who do we have as our special guest for today?
A little blonde beauty over there, I see. Look at her. We got one half of that beautiful couple today, but we're going to work with this one here. We have the lovely Sharnita Horton here with us, and I'm loving that blonde right there. This woman is an entrepreneur. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a reality TV star, and it's in Alabama, Sharnita's World. This girl got so much new stuff, entrepreneur again, coming up that we're going to talk about her new adventures. But I want to say welcome back, darling. I hope her hubby is good, but welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk.
Hey, Brenda. Hey, Rick. How y'all doing?
I'm doing
I
good.
love
How
that
you doing?
accent.
What's up?
What's up
What-
with you, dear?
Well, Rick said, my baby, my boo, my...
Yeah, my baby, my girl, my boo.
All of that. First of all, how your baby doing?
My babies, my children are doing good, and my husband is still fine and still turning me on. How about that? Mm.
Oh,
Hey,
what
yeah.
you doing the hand move?
How you say? I's married.
Well, I'm married, y'all know that. And continue to be married.
Well, I got some questions for you, but I want people to know about Sharnita's World before we get into the other stuff. What is the premise of the show? When does it come on? And how can they find it?
I've been in rest mode, but I am finna start back filming.
Okay.
November 9th. That is the Let's Talk link
Amen.
up. So Charnita's World is the transparency of my life. And y'all know it started off as a brand. I came on here before, and y'all remember I came to my husband and I said I wanted to speak to the mass. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that God was finna put me on directly TV, but I was okay with that. And then Jason had said, "Do you know what come with this?" And then he explained to me what comes with it. But I think I got it now. Like
got
I'm
it.
having fun, but I needed a good old rest, baby.
Okay, because you busy. You are. Because
Yes.
I said between the husband, because we know you have to put God first in the husband and the
Yes.
babies, and then you got the outside endeavors, all the things that falls up under you and Jason. We know
Yes.
you're doing a lot, but how do you balance all of that?
I it work-life balance, it comes with challenge, but lately I literally been praying it through. I think what I just went through in this resting period, and also fighting the actual spiritual warfare, um I had to understand to take a rest. So my team actually put me on an intentional rest. So I am, yes, no, so it was intentional. Like I had to mentally rest. filming
Mhm.
cameras in your face and show, it's a lot of work, but you also got to realize I'm doing other things. We finna get ready to start the tax business back up. We finna be doing
Okay.
Christmas loans coming out and then tax advances and all this. And then he building downtown. Oh no, old Charlie going crazy. So it was just so I am the COO of Smart Tag. So that's the operational owner. So I've been busy, but I have not been filming. So it's going to be excited. I am excited to get back to filming and everybody to see me again because I'm going to tell y'all how many people have already RSVP. Are y'all ready for this number for this
I'm
event?
ready.
So for the Let's Talk link up that Sir Charles is coming to, it's Friday. Yes, yes. 450 people have already RSVP.
Mm.
455
Amen.
people. So I wanted to this. My dream was for it to become a festival. I had to ask my mother-in-law. I said, "Is it a festival?" She said, "Oh yeah, you up there." So we're not even there, and I get to have it at our building downtown Birmingham, 15,000 square feet. So it's gonna be inside and out. And Mimi Foss is gonna be the host. So this is, man, y'all, you can't tell me God is not good, it's not speaking, and we're not gonna have a celebration that's gonna be safe. So everybody think Birmingham is not safe. This event is going to be safe. It's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be a good age bracket that's going to be there from the young to. I think, baby, if we get somebody there out there, what y'all thinking from 25 to? I think I got somebody to get a ticket 78.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's good. Because now what we're talking about, everyone, is Let's Talk, Let's Link Up. That's happening on November the 9th in
Yes.
Birmingham, Alabama. In case you are in Alabama, come on through and you meet the beautiful Sharnita. And do your guest line up again. Because you got a nice singer there and someone else. Tell me who's on
Sir
the list
Charles.
again. Okay.
We have a surprise um, intro person that's going to be coming out before Sir Charles. Mimi Foss is going to be the host. And I wanted to tell, I always want to give recognition to Melanie Cherie, who is the producer of my show. And Melanie Cherie also is the producer of Love in Huntsville. So I never want to go without showing her respect. And also Don Michelle picking up my show, my reality show. It's following my story of me being a serial entrepreneur. So I had to backtrack, y'all, because you got to go back to your root to to let people
Mm-hmm.
know where you came from.
You
But
sure do.
this is the first time I was able to even afford, and be able to invest in I say someone to come and someone like Sir Charles to be able to perform. And guys, the tickets are free. The
The
tickets
tickets
are
are
free.
free?
The tickets are free.
Mm.
This is my birthday month. I'm a Scorpio. I love giving and I give out to
Mhm.
the community. I would have never known that I would be doing this big. I remember when I just came, my husband, I said, "Hey baby, can the tickets be free?" Because at first they was $25. My husband sponsoring every ticket. He said no ticket to be paid for. That's how sweet he is. I give back to Birmingham
Woo woo,
City.
Jesus.
Yes. So buy that, get that ticket. And I think the only thing right now is the VIP sections that may cost you. And that's just because if you want a bottle, you want that personal service. But everybody there is gonna be celebrities in the buildings because everybody's a celebrity. The mayor is gonna be in the building. Y'all, this is huge. It's gonna be a green carpet affair. And best dress can win up to $500. You need to be in the building.
What's the time frame for? Is it an all day or evening event or a daytime event?
It starts at 7 and ends at 1 a.m.
Oh, y'all about to go
Oh yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not doing it's let's talk, let's link up, and it used to be called Entrepreneur. Let's talk, let's link up. I changed
Okay.
it to Let's Talk, Let's Link Up. and come celebrate your success, because you can work at McDonald's, you can be in the corporate world, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a stay-at-home mom. Whatever is success to you, come celebrate you. It's not a form event where you're just, going around and just looking at vendors. This is really you. I want you to jump on that 360 and party and have fun. And this is me giving back to the community, but most of all, you experiencing just the love of yourself and appreciating yourself and understanding your success matter. And
So I'm looking at. So I had no idea who Mimi Faust is. I'm looking at the picture of her now. They're saying she was a reality TV show. I don't know if she's still on Love and Hip Hop or she used to be on Love and Hip Hop.
she used to be that girl still moving. You would think she used to be. And she was on there for what, about 11 years? She was a long time. Mimi
Yeah.
Fox been around a long time. She was married to Stevie J a while ago. And so she have a beautiful child by Stevie J. And she has a beautiful personality. And a great friend to me. And she her vibe as a host, I think she's gonna rock the building.
Yeah. So help me out here again because I may have missed it because I was looking at trying to find the name. So the event is there to uplift and encourage people, to just I guess to whoever you are, to encourage yourself, to inspire you. But is there something about the event that's also going to motivate people to move forward or to advance or to help them? Because some people are going to come in there and may not be happy where they are. How are you working on maybe that motivation, spirit to help them move forward?
What we doing now, Rick? I'm telling people, because what I just told y'all, I literally just went through a spiritual warfare myself where I didn't want to even get out the bed. So I'm telling people right now on y'all show, get up. You can do it. Get out that bed. You if you in pain, take some Tylenol, take some ibuprofen. Come celebrate. It's like you said, Rick. It's hard for people to get up, and
Yeah.
some people are uncomfortable around other people. They may feel like it's bigger than them, and then some people are even people that feel like they are bigger or more successful. They are uncomfortable, being around a lot of people. You got to understand, 450 people have already RSVP. I have never had this amount. 271. You remember when the reality show lunch last year, I celebrated the reality show luncheon, and I only had 271 people by the 4th to RSVP, and we already close to 500 now.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can
So-
understand. I can understand people being a little bit, something bigger than them, or they have people there that are doing something better than they are. Because I always feel that way around Brenda, who's doing so much better than I am. Just being around her just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So helping me out with that, if I'm looking at that Brenda, it's good that you'll be able to tell people is that we can collaborate. Don't look at your situation as being you're not the same as I am. Be there with me and we can get to where you want to be.
Yes, I relate to all people. I even when it comes down to tax clients, I do people from all over the block. I mean, I service people from making $15,000 to millionaires, and that's the point of my show and my transparency. You come around me, I'm open and honest, and I can just say I'm just a bubble of fresh air. I don't want people coming there uncomfortable. We're gonna have a few that's uncomfortable, and I'm gonna have a assigned mission. Make sure all my staff showing that smile and letting everybody know to be as comfortable as possible. And we're gonna have a taco feast, and the food is gonna be free. I'm really y'all. I'm ready. I really feel like people gonna be comfortable, and we gotta understand this year the cameras will be out there, but it is gonna be a warning to let them know, but it's not gonna be directly in their faces without permission. So I found out that people really do want to be on camera, like Brenda.
They
Yeah.
do. One thing I'm loving about you, Sharnita, your personality is big. And it was even bigger is your heart. But what gives me, you're relatable, and approachable. Someone, and we don't like to throw text around, but someone on your status level, you're a reality TV star, you own all these different businesses, they're not approachable.
No,
The average Sharnita out there in this world, they're not approachable.
no.
But just you, your personality, it just draws you in. And I'm praying that on November the 9th, that day from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., that some souls will be touched by you
Yes,
because you
thank you.
are
Thank you.
transparent. And when people see, hey, this is what I went through to get to where I'm at, and I'm here for you. Because the
Yes.
average person that's on that certain level, they don't give back. They
No.
like I got mine like crabs in a barrel. You get yours. I'm not telling you none of
Mm-hmm.
my secrets. I always say it's enough out here for
Mm-hmm.
everyone. And I
Yes.
thank God for you and your husband for doing that and leaving those legacies for your
Mm-hmm.
children to see. You know, what is the thing, babe? Much is given, much is required. You doing that. God has blessed you. And for you just to have this event and not charge, and I'm telling you, the way people think, okay, I've got 450 something people now. I could have charged this and made this. You're
Mm-hmm.
not thinking that way. And that is
No.
beautiful. Thank you to your
No.
husband too for
Yes.
agreeing. That is
Mm-hmm.
just wonderful.
And the
So
colors are green. They have to wear all green. It's gonna be a green affair. I mean, the whole place
okay.
gonna be lit green. Beautiful black and white couches, lights coming up under the couches. I mean, I want it beautiful. I want it so
Mhm.
beautiful where they just feel like they experiencing a luxury experience. Because I know this been a challenging year for me, and I met all financial goals already, and I want everybody around me to win too. So I hope I appreciate that prayer because everybody that connects to me, I want them to win, and that's what I'm all
There
about.
you go. All about it. When we just had somebody on
Hmm.
a lady
Yeah.
on the show last week talking about Bev, talking about when. And if
Yeah.
you believe in it and you put that seed out there, God's gonna manifest it. And make sure you send a video and put it on my page for us. Since
I'm
we
being
ain't there, I wanna be there. I wanna see what's
yes,
going on. So
yes,
I just love it, love it, love it, love it.
So I
yes.
mean, I'm a little bit kind of behind on this one because I don't think me and Brenda talked a lot about the scenario of what you're doing. She just know I know she said she wanted you to be on the guest on the show, and you know she pretty much gets
Um,
what she wants to do
yeah.
most of the times. But I'm hearing about this, and what I'm trying to ask the question about is this something that you're? I mean, you have a show. Is this event something that you plan on doing, you know, continuously
This
as an event like that? And how was it about? I mean, did you have any issues with maybe getting sponsors? Because I know sometimes when you have events like this, trying to get people to back it, it seems like I'm hearing it almost saying like you financially did all this on your own.
I've
Did
been
you?
doing and this is the 6th year, financially, my husband, my the owners we paid for, we don't have not one sponsor but
Yeah,
God. And
yeah,
this
Amen.
is literally what I give back to the community. This is my 6th year.
yeah,
So surcharge everybody we paid for.
yeah. And I like hearing that because I mean people don't realize it. Getting sponsors is not easy, number one.
Mhm.
But for you all to sit there and be dedicated to a plan and then put it together and all of this stuff you're giving back, you know,
Mhm.
and like Brenda said, you know, people may not know about this, but God knows about it. For you to
Yes.
do that, blessings will come from that because
Thank
you
you.
are doing something that's trying to encourage and uplift. And you said something that I think that kind of got glossed by. You know, people say, you know, people are worried about Birmingham, you know, safe in Birmingham, because that's how people
Mhm.
act like it's not safe in Chicago and stuff like that. But it's up to us to bring safe environments and things there that's going to lift up our communities. And so
Yes.
what you're doing is a blessing to do that. And so, as Brenda said, it's great. But talk a little bit. I'm going to challenge you now on talking about some of the challenges because I know this couldn't have been easy going through that 6 month, you know, 6 year period. Because within that 6 year period, COVID hit too. So talk a little bit
Yes.
about some of the challenges that you were able to overcome by the grace of God to get to this point where you're doing this.
Rick, it started at a restaurant. The first year, it's called Mizu. It's a Japanese restaurant. My first year, about 11 women came out. It started off with maybe 11 to 14 women, all the way up to now to 450 people RSVP. Every year, I never asked for a sponsor. I was the sponsor with the help of my husband and Miss Joanne. I feel like the biggest challenge. I'm gonna give you two. I remember, I'll say the year before last, I I felt as I went through a spiritual warfare after the event. And this particular one, I went through it before. And it's just the feeling of I got so many calls, whether it was happy or how did you feel? Charnita was telling me just bad things that happen. I don't know why people want to call you after. And you know what I learned, Ricky? Rick, I learned put that phone down. I don't answer my phone 2 days after the event because I had so many people just wanted to put their opinion on something that they didn't even pay for.
Hey, girl.
So like I your opinion don't matter. And I so I learned Rick closer to the event and after the event, it's nothing you have to talk to me about. Cause and that's being on that phone, you wouldn't believe how much gossip can happen and people can be in your ears.
Yeah.
So yes, hosting an event, for the last 6 years, it had its challenges. COVID years, yes, because you got to realize it was out there with a mask. So yes, for the last 6 years, it had its ups and downs, but it always been, as you see, it's up. It's I can't believe it. I can't believe it now that this particular event started from a 14 women. Now it's men and women coming out RSVPing.
Yeah, and you're so true about that. Sometimes you have people, and it's more like envy. And
Yes.
you don't mind taking a phone call or someone say, that was such a blessing. It was this, but then you get those people that want to sit there and always try to fine tune or find something negative to
Mhm.
say,
Nitpick.
and that's how I am as well. I don't deal with negativity.
Yeah. Did
You
you see
know,
what she had on? She was
yeah,
trying to dress like you and just call. I was like, did
yeah.
you have fun?
Right. I mean,
Right.
that wasn't what the event was about. I mean, and no matter what someone wears or looks or stuff like that, we're here to uplift and encourage.
Yes.
And you don't want to be bothered with the negativity. And sometimes you just have to wipe, and as the Bible says, wipe the dust off your feet, and just
Okay.
walk away from some of those things. And so, I mean, what I love about you sharing that is because it helps people understand that, yeah, you're going to go through some challenges and things are going to come against you. And it could be some family, friends, and all kinds of people, but yet you still triumph going forward and you don't allow that negativity to slow you down.
No, I don't allow negativity. It never slowed me down. Um, I am a very strong woman, but I must say my strength was tested this year. In all avenues of my life, because you got to realize when you always walking around as a strong woman, and then I'm a submissive wife. But my
Say
strength,
that again.
I
Say that
am
again. Say that again.
submissive to my husband,
Oh my
but I
God.
am a strong woman. I am.
I'm
I
just teasing her.
I
I can
endure a
tell
lot.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they
So
had
I
that
am
beautiful
a
relationship.
strong, soft, submissive wife and a mother of three. So the strength that comes from me, I am the leader of so many women and so many children that follows me. And I got to represent. And I know that. So you have to come on out of those depressions and come on out to this event. Cause I did, because I'm telling you, it didn't last long. When I recognized it, I said, oh no, oh no. And I realized I went through that for my followers. I was able to come back and tell them what just took place. It slapped me. I didn't even notice. I'm so strong. I didn't even know I went through a slight depression.
Mm.
Mm. You know what? What I'm loving about this and God is when you on track and doing something right. That's when all the haters come out. That's
Yes,
when everybody come against you. And you're holding your tongue, being as positively you can be. It's a
yes,
beacon, it's a light for people to see that although Satan trying to slay you down and stuff, and I know you're
hmm
gonna be sharp because you're a sharp dresser on the
yeah,
night and stuff. But for someone, and that's what women do. They nitpick. She thinks she
yes,
got a great husband. She think her kids this. She think her business this. She thinks she all of that. And they'll try their best. Shanita, you ain't nothing. But I'm something
yes,
to God. I'm something to my husband. And I'm something to me.
Amen.
Haters go away. Because, see, like I
yes,
said, I'm so used to people that be smiling in your face and
yes,
ripping you behind your back. And I mean, you should lead with that. Look, I don't
yes,
got no money and stake in your game, but I know your heart. You should lead with that. This is a presence. I don't know if somebody gonna pray over the thing or not, but this is a presence
hmm
of positivity, of happiness here. I'm encouraging and uplifting. We don't want no negative vibes
no,
from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. because the way
that's it. I
you
will, Brenda.
invested, seriously, you invested so much, you and your husband, in this for the good of people that you just giving back. People don't know how blessed they are. You coming to a free event and you
hmm
getting wisdom, nuggets of
hmm
wisdom from someone who don't have to give you anything. You don't owe anybody nothing. But we as Christian people, we know much is given, much is required. So you following that rule, and the only thing I gotta say on that is, girl, I wish we was in Alabama.
Oh,
So
child,
we gonna
child.
be right here, like
You know who I
green
thought
carpet.
about when I was in my depression? I thought about Kate Spade, who had way more money than me. How beautiful and how rich she was, and how her husband
Hmm.
was downstairs. She went upstairs and killed herself.
Yep.
And I had the highest revenue I ever had this year, highest RSVPs on events. I mean, just doing really well. The devil really tried to attack my mental mind and wanted me to
Hmm.
stop. I had so
Hmm.
many people telling me to beware of this person, beware, to the point I was so confused where you don't know who to listen to. And
Hmm.
it's not, it goes far more than listening to your pastor, listening to your husband, listening to your friends. You got to listen to God. And when
Yep.
when when it say get to know the Lord for yourself, I found out this year what that really
Hmm.
means. You
Hmm.
got to really get to
Amen.
know the Lord for yourself. And you got to really be, and I'm talking about, look here, Lord, I'm going through it. That
Hmm.
I sometimes you can't listen. Your husband, you can't hear him. You can't hear because it's so many, everybody trying to give you advice because they see your success. But you got to go to God and you got to make sure you understand what God trying to tell you. And so
Hmm.
this event means so much to me because I'm gonna be out there celebrating. It's gonna be a different celebration for me. Because last year I was in this all because you gotta realize my reality show, I got picked up in 3 days. It happened so fast. So when something
Hmm.
happens so fast in your life, you can barely blink. There you go. I'm in the bed, barely able to get up, not wanting to move, sad. Why I can't get up? All right, let me get to know God for real.
Look, as I say, for real, God, you see
Mhm.
what's going on down here. I'm your daughter. I'm going through something. Do you hear me? And of course,
Do you
God,
hear me?
yeah, and of course, God hear you, but you have to be open, and I'm glad you are open to go to God with your situation. I ain't gonna even call it a problem, but with
Mhm.
your situation that you was in, you was open, very open to go to God and say, look, let's talk. I like
Mhm.
that. Let's talk. Let's
Let's
link
talk.
up.
Yes.
Girl,
Yes.
it's flowing. I like that. And it's like no matter where it come from, let it come from God. Don't let the other people, like you said, it was all in your head, people getting in your head,
All
in
in
your
my head.
ear. You don't need to hear, like God, tune them out so I can hear you clearly. And when you ask God, show me who I need to be in my life, believe me, He will show you, and you will be shocked of
And
who
I'm
He will
glad
say.
your spirit told me to bring me back. It was necessary. That it was necessary because y'all need to know, how are you, Charnita, after being picked up in 3 days and more success coming after that, more followers.
Yeah.
It has been very different. but I am embracing it and I love it. I love it. But it was a shock to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you don't look like
Thank
what
you.
you've been through, darling.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
like I said, I'm loving your new look. I love it.
Yeah.
Look at you. I love it. And Jason is holding it down over here with
Yes.
his comments. He said, "How do you too?"
Okay. So let's go back again. Tell people again about the event, what's going on for those who may have just came in just recently.
So let's talk. Let's link up. It's November the 9th. You can follow all my social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Charnita's World. Come out, celebrate your success. If you're an entrepreneur, you work in corporate America. I don't care where you work. I don't care if you don't work. I don't care what's going on. I mean, come out and be amongst the people who's ready to celebrate their success and success, whatever that means to you. Come out and join this force. This finna be great energy. It's finna be a great vibration. And like Brenda said, we're gonna block out all that mess and whatever between that 7 and 1. Hey, you need to be focused and having fun. And it's in Birmingham, Alabama, and people travel to this event. So we have people out of the state coming to this event. November the 9th starts at 7 p.m. at our building, the HE building, the HE building, 15,000 square feet, enough parking. I mean, security guard on deck. Police enforced to make sure that we are all safe.
Amen.
Okay, and that's good. You got everything. It's no excuse really for them.
No
You got parking,
excuse.
security, food, fashion, encouragement, and it's free. Get out there, people, in Alabama especially. Get out there. Okay, I just said my promo.
Hey, we do appreciate you being on here. And what's supposed to be, you said November the 9th, huh? Let's hope we're not in mourning because we got the wrong president by then. But I think we
That'd be the thing around my
yeah.
bed too. Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, like, okay,
But Brenda said we supposed to tune it out.
yeah, we
got it.
definitely got
what
to
that
tune
day,
that
y'all
out.
in case that happened, that day, tune it
I'm
out.
gonna wipe that out of there right
Yeah,
now.
we're
But
gonna act like
yeah, but I'm excited for it. I mean, we had to probably have Brenda just have you come back one time and just to tell us about the event and do a recap on it, so we can talk about a little bit. Maybe get about 15 minutes or something. Get a recap on.
And
the
I want to
event.
recap on my Club 50, boo. Come
Okay.
on, after this event,
okay.
coming
Okay.
back at you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Hey, thanks again for being here, and we wish you much success
Much.
in the event that you're coming up on the 9th.
Thank you, Brenda and Rick. Okay.
All right, take care.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so I'm going to let you do the recap on that. Shanita, say,
That powerhouse right there, that name alone, that TV reality star, the entrepreneur, the wife, the mother, just the woman that she is. Her heart is so big that she's giving back to her community in Trifold. I'm loving that. And she was a great interviewer today. We
Yeah.
enjoyed her. And last time we enjoyed her with her husband. But you know what? You guys knocked us out the box. Do that. We will continuously lift you guys up in prayer for a successful event.
And we had a reality TV show star on our show. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who is this Mimi False. I'm like, I have no idea who people are. So thankfully to Brenda for bringing that up. And hey, we're going to go to some music here. We're doing a salute to Ernest Pugh. We played Rain on Us, and now the next song is going to be I Need Your Glory. It fits so well with what she was talking about, because you want the glory of God to be on this event and not the negativity. So we're praying for the event that's coming out November 9th for her. But here you go right now with Mr. Ernest Pugh and I Need Your Glory. Here, a couple of commercials, and we will be right back on the Let's Stay Together talk show. All right, so I'm going to wait for Brenda to get her story together for the next story. And again, make sure you watch the JD Morning Show each Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. only on Soar Radio. Comes on Wednesday from 6 to 8 a.m. only on Soar Radio with Kenny, it's just, I always say Kenny first because Kenny is the person that I talk to the most. But it's Justin Kenny in the game could be on there talking on the show and sharing a lot of things about current events. And hey, they probably know more about the Mimi Falls than we do because they keep up on current events like that as well. And hey, we're going to be doing some changes here as well on our show. Do a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can get this thing to look a little bit more cozy and casual. So we're working on some things like that. I didn't set Brenda up with a fabulous office. She's an executive esquire now with her fancy new office. I'm jealous now because she won't even let me walk in without an appointment. So like, you're not on my schedule, sir. So do you have the story ready?
Yes, this next one is interesting. Outraged parents pull kids from class after they were allegedly made to listen to a gender diversity lecture from a drag queen.
What you talking about, Willis?
Right. They wasn't letting them leave. Okay, this is parents at a Canadian school yanked their kids out because the kids was uncomfortable hearing a drag queen tell them about their sexuality. And it made a lot of students a little, no, okay, I don't want to learn about my identity through you. And how is it that this person was allowed to do that? And if the child is uncomfortable, babe, they should just let them leave. But no, the kids said we felt trapped. We were stuck in there. We had to hear this. And that, messed up a lot of parents. They're like, no, you're not forcing my child to hear about any of this through a drag queen. I don't care how popular this person is. They should not be, who censored that is what they're saying. And that's kind of like a far stretch to me now. I didn't know, with school, sexuality and stuff. What was it called? Sex education when we was in school and everything.
Yeah.
But now with these kids, you're dealing with so many different levels of things. And that's just blowing my mind there. Who said that was okay and approved for this man one day? And I've seen the videos of him that come in and tell them, okay, yeah, it's great to understand your identity, but I don't know. It just threw me.
I think the thing that was surprising to me when I saw this story was that I remember when we was in school. You would tell the teacher or they would tell the parents about new people coming in to talk to their kids about something, or if you're going to field trips or blah blah this. They would let them know. This just seems like there's a situation where the parents did not know about this, or maybe they sent out a pamphlet and the child didn't share it because the parent obviously was upset about it. Had several parents upset about it. I just think that situations like that. I mean, they're going to be people that are saying, we're being wrong. We're not allowing that person to speak and say what they want to say. This is the world we live in. I wouldn't want some drag queen speaking to my child either. But the thing about it is that I blame the school for not giving all the parents, notification about this, that this was going to happen. And some people say, well, they may have missed it. But, every school has like a parent-teacher meeting. If they knew they was going to do something like that, they could have did that, the parent-teacher meeting before that. Something like this should have been planned well in advance, telling the teachers about it. This is what we're going to do. And if you don't want your child there for this event, you can keep them out of the school for that day. I just think that the school dropped the ball on this. They're trying to, be, politically correct, or gender correct or whatever. But yet the parents wasn't aware of it and they got upset. And so the school is at fault at it, and you may hear something about the school being sued after this about something like that. So it is what it is.
The thing that got me, if the child, you're seeing that the majority of the students in the classroom was uncomfortable and they asked to leave and they was forbidden to leave. then, and first of all, the parents said they wasn't notified at all. It wasn't nothing sent home to them, but they wasn't notified at all that they're gonna have someone to talk to them about sex education, sex, gender, and everything. So it's like someone said they went above and beyond the wrong way. That's not how you get the attention of the children with their identity crisis and stuff. You gonna have this dude coming there dressed, flamboyant and everything. It's like a woman. But whatever the case may be, it didn't go over well. As they say, it didn't launch well.
My question is, why do they think that children at that age needs to be even, you know, learning something about that? I mean, shouldn't the parents be doing that?
I don't know, because this is grade 7th, 8th, and ninth. And the stage name of the individual is Cookie Cunningham. And wow, she said, the pronouns again, said that you would not be able to Google me or find me, so do not look me up on social media.
Yeah, that school dropped the ball on that, and they should know better than that.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Another story that hope they don't drop the ball on is white man caught on viral video following black teen in the neighborhood. Yeah, we doing this stuff again. The London Stock Exchange Group has fired an employee involved in a viral video that showed a group of white men following a black teen in a Sarasota, Florida neighborhood. And this happened, I think they said, after Milton. And it's like the Hurricane Milton.
Yeah.
It's like, why the heck y'all doing this? Trying to intimidate a black person, talking about, well, we think he was in the wrong neighborhood. I don't care if he was in the right neighborhood. He walking down the street. If he don't look like he's about to do anything, you're going to take matters in your own hands to try to hurt this child.
Well, I mean, they didn't feel he was in the right neighborhood, and he actually lived in that neighborhood. It's just, again, I keep going back to this. Trump has opened up this Pandora box of, talking about immigrants and all this stuff like that. And these people are coming out of the woodworks, just doing whatever they want to do. And it is a sad situation. So some things like that happens. Hey, we're about to get ready to go back on the air for those of you YouTube, Facebook. So stay with us. All right, everybody, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Brenda McCain. We just heard a song from Ernest Pugh, I Need Your Glory. And we were just talking to Shanita, what is the last name again? Horton, who's going to have an event on November the 9th in Alabama. Give a recap on that again so anybody that's in that area might want to be able to attend.
We just got to talking to the beautiful Shanita Horton of Shanita's World, reality TV star, entrepreneur, and she's giving back to her community. On November the 9th, she's having Let's Talk, Let's Link Up, something she's been doing for 6 years. The name might have changed, but it's Walking the Green Carpet. And I'm sure it's going to be beautiful from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. If you're in Birmingham, Alabama, please check it out because it is free. And it's coming with nuggets of wisdom, food, encouragement, fashion, everything a girl really loves, but it's men and women to uplift because she said no matter where you work at, you could do this. You are important. So if you at the McDonald's or your own CEO, that's Shanita. She was giving it to us. That's where we had a great interview with her today.
All right. So we're going to go on with the show now and talk about why did I get married? What's that subject we're talking about?
Are you on one accord?
Are you on one accord? I was thinking about this, and what made me think about is at one time I was in a teaching class, a marriage teaching class, and I guess one of the teachers in there had taught something kind of different, and he pulled me to the side, and it was telling me that he didn't agree with what I was saying, and so we were talking about being on one accord, and I was trying to explain to him that the biblical thing of being on one accord is that the couple is in agreement. You know, it's not that they're doing the same thing that the other couple is doing, but they're in agreement on how the marriage goes forward, how the marriage moves, what's done in the marriage. And so somebody had asked a question about having a separate checking account. And, I basically said to the individual that if you're on one accord, and we're talking about one accord, and that couple has made the decision that they want to have separate checking accounts and that they will separately take care of certain things, then they are on one accord because they have made the agreement to do that. He disagreed with that because he felt that they should, if they're going to be on one accord, they should have a joint account. And I was saying that's not what one accord means. It means that the couple is in agreement, that they agreed to do what is right under the will of the Lord. And having a separate checking account is not going to spiritually destroy the relationship if that's what they agree on. Now, if it was a disagreement and they felt that, they should have a joint, and one says, I don't want to have a joint, I want to have a separate because I don't want my money mingled with yours. And then now you're not being on one accord on the decision on how you financially take care of things in the household. But again, there's nothing wrong with having a separate account if you are married. If Brenda wants a separate account and I want a separate account, and we say, hey, that's fine. I trust you to pay, you're going to pay this, I'm going to pay that. We're on a same agreement, one accord with what you're going to do. You're going to pay the light bill. You're going to pay this. I'm going to pay the mortgage. I'm going to pay the car note. You pay this. You pay that. And we agree to that from our income. Then that's being on accord. So one of the reasons why I came up with, are you on one accord? My question, this is a general conversation, is that how many times are we even asking ourselves, are we on accord with what God is calling us to do for our marriage? I know we look at things physically, well, we both agree that we're going to have, separate cars, or we're going to, she's going to do this, he's going to do that. We agree to do things, this way. But here, like me and Brenda have made an agreement that every time we go out somewhere, we dress the same. Now, that's not going to biblically change anything at all, but we do that because we want to show a biblical representation of being on accord, on agreement with each other, that we love and care for each other. So that is a outward symbolization of us showing that love by dressing together. So it has it provides a biblical overtone, but it's not biblical. It has nothing to do with that. But it lets people see that we are, in unity.
United. Mm-hmm.
We're united. We love each other. We care about each other. We hold hands. It's nothing, there's no biblical thing that say thou should hold hands in your marriage to be on accord. But it gives an outward appearance of unity and love, that the relationship is strong and solid. And so there are certain things that we can do that are not biblical, but will give someone a biblical understanding of being on one accord. And so my question is, sometimes do we pray together, or do we pray separately for each other? Now, is that being not on accord because the person does not pray with each other? We don't go to bed holding hands with each other, and Brenda prays and then I pray. But yet when we pray for each other. Are we not on accord? And so it made me think about some of the things that people can be confused by in their marriage, and make it seem like because this is not being done, it's causing a biblical problem in our marriage, when it's basically just a disagreement. You just haven't made an agreement on something. And I just wanted to kind of like talk a little bit about that. Are you with me on that?
I am. Because if I remember that conversation too, I'll quite well. That if you're not on the same page with me, then we're not on the same accord, and that's not true. Like you was saying, if we have a discussion as two adults, this is in a marriage. If you have a discussion on how you're going to pay the bills, how the checking account's going to flow, then that stays between you and yours. No one else should step in and tell you that that's wrong. That, oh, she got a separate account. You don't know what she's doing with the money. Okay, I don't know what he's doing with his money, but we in good faith and knowing that God is over our marriage, we came in agreement that he could have a separate, I could have a separate, and we could have a joint. Whichever way flows in your household, just be on one accord with that. Not that, oh, if it's not this, it's wrong and it's going to be wrong in our household. So I like the way you put that, because back when I heard that conversation eon years ago, that person was so animate about, no, we do everything and we don't make a decision. It was just so many strict rules. And it's like, wow, okay, well, if that works for them, can't say nothing about it. But I know to be on one accord is being in agreement that we can be separate, being in agreement that we could do things separately, but it's still on one accord that we're going to get to where we need to be in our marriage by doing that.
Yeah.
But so many people can discourage you and get in your head. Like I said, well, I think Shanita said it best. You better know the Lord for yourself, because somebody, if you're not into the word, you don't know what the Bible is saying, you can't construe it wrong, and they could tell you just about anything. But as far as being on one accord, it is, as we say, so she said in the chorus, but marriage is a 3-strand cord, period. And in a 3-strand cord, we know is God, husband, wife. But in agreement with each other, it's not one dictating over the other one in the marriage. Because, I always go back to a couple that say, oh, we never argue, we never disagree. That's beautiful, but it's not realistic. Because if you don't, I'm not saying you have to argue and fight things out, but if you don't, it just seems like someone's controlling the other. But it's like, come on, you in a relationship with your best friend, your husband, your wife, you could be able to discuss things without being mad at each other. But being on one accord, like you said, we could be upset with each other. And people say, don't let the sun go down and you be upset, with your spouse. Okay. There's been plenty of times the sun went down and we was upset with each other. But on one accord, we know we still love each other.
And another thing is that, I know the person meant well, but it could be misguiding to some people, because is my marriage not biblically functioning right because we don't have a united checking account with each other? So it's kind of misguided, and it can lead someone down the wrong path to start thinking other things need to be this way. One accord means that you're agreeing with each other. You agree that this is what's for our marriage, and it does not hinder biblical guidelines. I'm not give you an example. You can't be on one accord that you can have sex with other people in your relationship, and the husband say, yeah, we want to be swingers, and she says, yeah, I want to be swingers, and yet you want to be Christians too. Well, that's not biblical, because you're not supposed to be sleeping with someone else while you're married. So that one accord doesn't work, because that would be.
So don't try it.
Yeah, so that's not biblical. That would fall outside of the biblical word of the Lord telling us how we should live. A man should find his wife, and the two shall come together as one. Not all of a sudden now, well, we come together as one, but yet we want 2 more people in the relationship, and since we are on one accord with that, it's okay. No, that's not biblical. But having a separate checking account doesn't change the biblical relationship that God has called man to be with a woman. Brenda is spoiled to death, and I do a lot of things for Brenda. I don't, most of the times we go out somewhere, Brenda doesn't pay. drive the car. She doesn't pay for the gas. She doesn't pay anything for the car. And I do that. Now, we're not on one accord on that. It's like if somebody can say, well, she should do something. And I'm using this for an example because I've heard sometimes when a wife or a husband say, well, I do all this for her. Why is she not doing the same? Well, there's no disagreement with that. There's things that Brenda does that I don't do. And so we have that agreement. You know, of course, she's happy to be spoiled. She's not going to disagree with that. No, I don't want to be, you know, but that's something that I wanted to do for her. And so there are sometimes you can be on one accord or an agreement with each other, even though it's something that the other person has decided that they want to do for that individual without looking for anything in return. And I get worried sometimes when people think that everything has to be equally matched. One accord doesn't mean you do 50%, I do 50%. There's going to be sometimes that Brenda's going to be doing 80% and I'm going to be 20. I haven't lifted up a pot, a plate to cook anything in this house for over a decade or so. I don't do any of that. I maybe once or twice in maybe in 10 years. I don't do any of that. I don't do any. I do it sometimes, but most of the time she's cleaning this. She's doing. If it's something needs to be done in the house, she's doing that. If it's something outside the house, so it's like when people sit there and say you got to be on one accord, it doesn't mean that if you do something, I should do it. Well, baby, I do this for you. I cook for you. Why can't you cook for me? Well, if you've made an agreement that person, do that, and I don't want somebody come in and teach and says, well, yeah, the husband should do the same thing that the wife does because then they'll be on one accord. And then you got that other couple sitting over there saying, well wait a minute. Then if that's the case, Rick, you ain't doing no cooking for me, so you ain't biblically following things. And that can cause so much misleading and misguided information. One accord agreement that does not affect the word of God concerning marriage. The Bible tells husband to love the wife as God loves the church, and the wife's supposed to submit unto the wife, to the husband. And God tells us before that we should submit to one another for the fear of the Lord. So it means basically submit to each other because God tells you to. And now here's what the man should do. Here's what the woman should do. And if we follow that, we can be on one accord and have different things that we do. Brenda goes out someplace and I don't want to go. I don't have to be there with her. Like, we're supposed to be on one accord. If you go somewhere, I got to go somewhere. No. We do generally go out a lot together with each other, but there's some things that she goes to do and I'm like, I don't want to be there. You go have fun. I'm done. So, I brought up the one accord because of something made me think about that and just letting people understand that if you're following the biblical guidelines of a marriage, don't bring in physical or earthly things and try to match that. To say this has to be this because this is what we do spiritually and biblically, as God says. We need to do this, in our, physical marriage or our unspiritual marriage, because there's nothing spiritual about having a checking account, one car. If I get a car, you got to get a car. Well, okay. Does that mean we can't get a car now? We're gonna get on the bus? If I got a new Mac Air computer, you need to get one. Well, Rick, you got a new computer. Why ain't I getting one? It was like, okay, well, are you using it for the same thing? We can get so caught up in so many worldly things and try to make it biblical, and it doesn't match. So again, I'm recycling this over and over again. If you're following the biblical guidelines of a marriage, and you agree on certain things that are worldly that you need to survive within that marriage, you can make an agreement to do things differently, but yet it benefits the whole of the marriage, and things are fine.
That's what I say. It's your marriage, not other people, outside people. It's your marriage. You do what works best for you in your marriage, and being on one accord is not that everything have to be mirrored against. I do this, what you do. I do the. Being on one accord is discussing with your partner in life, your spouse, that hey, this is the role I want to play in a marriage, and this is the role you playing in it, and we're gonna come together and we're gonna make this role great. But other people who's in your ear, been in your ear on stuff, telling you, well, no, that's not cool. You're not supposed to do that. Only thing I'm saying is you're grown, you married, you know your rights from wrong, you know what works in your marriage. So
Yeah, and it's so funny, and I'm gonna end this in a second, but I remember going with this person, and he saw me again, and I was just finishing up a funeral, and he said, hey, Rick, are you going to the, are you going to the burial? I said, yeah. Well, I just did the funeral. Yeah, I'm going to the burial. Can I drive with you? Because I want to talk to you about something. I said, okay, fine. I didn't really figured he was going to talk about that. We get in the car. He said, I want to talk to you about that one accord thing that you talked about 2 weeks ago. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
can I just dump you off at the
I'm like,
cemetery?
you driving the car. I'm finna go to a funeral to bury, this young 19-year-old boy,
The
18-year-old boy.
cemetery,
Yeah,
yeah.
the cemetery. And that was a day that they had like about 6 plots there, and all of them were under the age of 18. But I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I said, are you still on this? I'm like, what you're thinking is misguided. You don't. It's not going to biblically harm or spiritually harm the marriage if the person doesn't have a joint checking account. It doesn't mean that they're biblically out of order. They're not following God's word. It just means that she agreed that she wanted her money. He agreed he wanted her money, and they're
Which
fine.
mean her money or his money?
They're fine. I mean, I don't have we ever had. I think we may have had a joint checking account once, but I mean, we're 30 some odd years. We ain't had no money problems. I know Brenda's gonna spend her money just on her, and that's it. Yeah. But I mean, I never had any. I never worried about Brenda making sure a bill was taken care of. And she didn't have to worry about me. I mean, my birthday present was if the bills are paid, I'm happy. And so we had an agreement with that. And so, having someone sometimes. Last thing I want to say is, be careful with who comes into your relationship and telling you what you should do.
Especially when they wasn't invited into
You
the
know,
relationship.
and then they try to press it, put it together as though this is a biblical thing to do. Be like a Berean, study to show thyself approved, but don't put things in worldly and spiritual. They're separate for a reason, and a checking account is a worldly thing. I mean, we do it. It's okay to be joined together, and it's okay to be separate if that's what you want. It's not going to destroy the marriage. So you ain't gonna go. Satan's gonna say, look at Rick and Brenda. They don't even have a joint checking account. They're not biblically following in line with Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. So be careful who you allow in your marriage. This is a simple thing about talking a checking account, but there's a lot of times people will bring up things and say that you're not on one accord. Your relationship is not biblically going the right way. And what you are doing is not biblically out of line, spiritually out of line. It's just a choice. That's all it is.
That's all
Hey,
it is.
we're gonna go on. We're gonna play one more song, and then we're gonna finish up with our show for the day. The song we got, Ernest Pugh, is who we're doing today, and he's going to talk about God did it. I'm like, and I love it. God did it. It wasn't the bank account. It was God who did it. It wasn't because it was split. It didn't. We didn't gain or lose anything about that because our finances within the hands of God. So listen up to this song by Ernest Pugh. God did it. And then we're going to come back and finish up the show with Club 50, Ife Designs, Relationship Letters. We didn't get a chance to see a play, I don't think, did we? And so we'll be finishing up with that. And listen up, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
What you got for us?
Let's talk about Sean Combs. Okay, he's staying in the limelight here. This time, some allegations
The
came
negative
out.
limelight.
Yeah, some more things came out. He's now been accused of raping 13-year-old girl with two celebrities at the 2000 VMAs after party. So that's 24 years ago. She's 37 now. But the sad part is, how were you 13 at this party? Did your parents, who might have been starstruck, allowed you, oh, go hang out with them. You might find somebody that can help further your career. Because, see, I'm looking at her age, and wrong is wrong. Please don't get me wrong, because I am saying if he did rape her and drugged her with two celebrities and they raped her, or as they said, was it vaginally raped her, it's still rape because she didn't consent and she was drugged. But someone made a comment that happened over 24 years ago. Why you didn't say nothing then? It's always why you didn't say nothing then. But if she's saying something now, and it ain't just to get money from them, then listen to the person. They probably was afraid, probably was threatened. Listen to the person.
Yeah.
I'm just at the point with P. Diddy, like, oh, your skeleton's coming out.
I think the thing about it is one thing you gotta understand. She's 13, so she can't give consent. She's a minor. So, and I don't know if the statutory rape time frame expired on a minor like that. So I'm not 100% sure, but it is a you do know that a lot of things are going to come out of the woodworks with this. That's what I'm trying to say. With the Abercrombie and Fritz guy, we want to see how that's going to work out as well. But I mean, it's it's a shame to hear something like that. You would hope it's not just for money, but somehow if the girl was in the presence, that was in itself something that shouldn't have been there. I mean, you can't tell me that you can't tell that. Look at a girl and say, nah, that girl don't even look close to 18. I mean, are there some 13-year-olds that look like 18? I don't know. I mean,
in today's world, I can see you have a lot of overdeveloped girls, but once they open their mouth, their mind has not caught up with their body. And some of them have, I don't care how much makeup you put on them at 13, they're a baby face. But like I said, the face is not matching the body. And of course, with a pedophile out there, they only seeing the body. They're not seeing the face. They're not seeing, oh, I fell in love with her mind. They ain't seeing all of that. This is someone that knew they could take advantage of that young person by drugging them. And the way she said, she went into a room to lay down because she started feeling woozy. That was them putting the drugs in her drink, and she shouldn't have been drinking. I don't care if it was a Coca-Cola or Sprite. You shouldn't have been at that grown person's party at that age.
Well, I will say this: overdeveloped body or not, you can look at a face, and the face is not going to look overdeveloped.
Right.
Even if it's she's makeup. I mean, I've seen some girls. I mean, we were riding back from the retirement for my sister, and we was riding through a Latino area, and I saw a girl get out of a car, looked really small or something like that. She obviously was like 18 or 19 years old, but she looked like she could have been 15. And even someone who is older, most of the times will look younger. It's not that the younger will look older, because in her face she looked like she could have been like maybe 15 something years old. But she was getting out of the car. So I'm saying, you look at sometimes you can see someone in their face, their body is not gonna it's not gonna change that much. You're gonna say, oh, I could tell that she was that young. So it's an interesting story. So we're gonna get ready to go back on the air, everybody. All right, everybody, welcome back to Let's Take It a Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Brenda McCain. We was talking a little bit about off the air about the P Diddy with the 13-year-old girl. We got a lot of stories that are coming out on that. Brent, just say something. Let's give about 5 minutes to that on the air. We were talking about sometimes you can't tell that a girl is 13 because of her body is overdeveloped. And I was saying, but you can tell by the face.
Yeah, you can. You could tell by the face, and unfortunately, when a pedophile is out there trying to groom someone, he don't care about the face. He just looking at the body and knowing that, hey, I can pass her around, do some sex trafficking. It's sad, but this is another case that came up against P. Diddy. 13-year-old girl that was raped, and it happened at the VMP after party. Wondering why is the 13-year-old girl there? Did she sneak in, put on some makeup, and so she got the body for it and just went for it? I don't know. But whatever the case may be, it was wrong. It was totally wrong that this young girl ended up being raped and couldn't say nothing. And yes, it's been 24 years, but hey, she's telling her story now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People are saying, it's been 24 years, and I again, I don't know if there's a limitation, statute of limitations on rape for a minor. Is it has it expired or something like that? But you had a feeling that some of these stories might be coming out. It's a sad situation. I mean, again, we're talking about people who were power hungry. They felt that they could do anything they wanted to do and nothing would happen, and it caught up with them. I think you're going to just hear more stories come out on the woodworks with this scenario, and you're hoping that I don't want to see any more 13-year-old kids and stuff like that, and she gets woozy and lay down in the bed because her drink was spiked. It's not a good thing. What you got for us for Club 50, Ife?
Well, Club 50, another great interview will be coming up shortly, and believe either end of this month or beginning of next month. And if you haven't checked in or subscribed, do so at club50.com, theclub50.com. Check us out. And not saying us, me. Check Brenda out on that because I got a chance to interview some beautiful people, some great articles out there. So please go to theclub50.com and read some of those great articles because another one is coming soon. Ife Designs. Oh my God, I love you guys so much for trusting me with your ideas. Continue to do that because the holiday season is coming up. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. A lot of parties, and I want to help you in your planning party events. So that is ifedesigns@gmail.com. If you have my telephone number, call or text me. You're on social media and you're on Facebook especially. Please message me with all of your ideas, and I can talk with you with sizing and pricings and bring your ideas to a reality.
Yeah. And before we go, next week we're going to have a SOAR Radio show back on the air. We didn't have anything for this week, and I still need to contact a couple of people from SOAR Radios that are doing shows to get them on here. So if you're listening to that show, get back in contact with me because I reached out to a couple of people, haven't heard back yet. But we're going to have next week Angela Height Carter. I think this says WWT Wild Show. I'm not sure what the WWT Wild stands for, but she has a show that's on SOAR Radio, and we'll be talking with her next Tuesday so she can share with the show, share her information about the show and what inspired her to be on one of the top radio stations in the nation, SOAR Radio.
Okay, and on election day, we will not be here on the show. So the show would not be going on what's today's election day, the 5th or the 6th?
5th and the 6th. Was that the I'm glad you mentioned that because I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's election day, and if our producer not here, we're not here.
Yeah.
So we want everybody to be safe that day.
Yeah, so we just probably have a rerun running that day. That's 2 weeks from now, though. Yeah, so
14 days away.
we'll mention that again coming that Tuesday. What you got for is
Let's
this a
stay
relationship?
together. Let's stay together, child.
The relationship letter. Okay.
Dear LSTT, my ex-boyfriend and ex-best friend invited me to their wedding. Yes, you heard that right. I dated him for 3 years and she was my best friend for over 15 years. He was cheating with my bestie the entire time. They lied to me and they said they fell in love and didn't want to hurt me. Really? My ex-best friend mother insists that I let bygones be bygones and I should get over it and come support them at the wedding. I'm getting endless phone calls from people whom I'm blocking on my phone telling me to go to the wedding. Why do they want me there so bad? It's the question I ask myself. LSTT, my question to you is, am I wrong for not wanting to go to their wedding?
Wow. So this is your best friend who cheated on you with your boyfriend. And
Or your boyfriend is cheated with your best friend.
yeah,
whichever
but you know,
way.
she basically said it's her best friend, right? To start off with that, right?
My ex-boyfriend.
Okay, my ex-boyfriend. So the ex-boyfriend is asking her to attend, or they both are.
They both are.
So I mean, did she have a relationship with the girl?
That was her best friend.
That's what I said before. I said her best friend cheated with her boyfriend, and they want them to come. I mean, the simple answer is no. I want to say HE double toothpicks. No. I don't understand the desire for them to want you to come to the relationship, to the marriage. But I will say this: if after that you've had a continual relationship with both of them, and you had a good relationship with those individuals, then I can understand them wanting you to come there. And since you were able to continue on relationship, it seems like maybe you have forgotten or allowed it to, to not be an issue anymore. You came to your Christian, understanding, like, I'm just going to forgive them. They did me wrong, blah, blah, blah. And you continuously develop a relationship with them, then there may be a possibility of you going to their marriage ceremony. But if there was no relationship after that, you obviously, hopefully you've forgiven them so it doesn't fester and bother you. But if there is no continuing relationship after that, I would just stay away.
I agree. I mean, it's by reading this, she seemed hurt by that. I don't understand what would be the fundamental reason that her presence need to be there, unless it was that they need to clear their conscience of how they done that to you, the guilt factor. So honestly, it wouldn't be cool for her to go, because it's like the way this letter was written, she was in the relationship with the guy for 3 years and was blindsided. You was best friends with this girl for 15 years, and so they creeping and sneaking around, and then all of a sudden he gonna break up with you, probably because I'm in love with her. Okay, well, y'all going on with your life. You don't have to still include me in it. So
Yeah, I mean, if he was hurt by the relationship, also going there would only bring back the wounds of the situation that happened. And let's just be honest, Christian Real. I mean, do you really want to be at the marriage of the boyfriend that slept with your best friend? I mean, even if you had a good relationship with him, you don't want to be like, oh, I can't believe that Sheila's here. That wasn't her boyfriend, and that was it. You would feel paranoid and uneasy, and
she
so
would be the subject of the conversation.
and you know how people are. They go, and somebody knows, somebody knows about it, and so, if it was something you feel comfortable, like, I'll send you a gift and I'm that, but yeah, I'd stay away.
Right. I hope we answered your question. I'm not helping you clear your conscience. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry that had to happen. I hope that you moved on and don't go.
And as the philosopher Forrest Gump would say, run, Forrest, run.
Please run.
Run away from that. Thank you again for sending your letters. If you want to send a letter to us, you can send it to Let's Stay Together Talk Show at gmail.com. That's Let's Stay Together Talk Show at gmail.com. We got about 5 minutes to go before you want to thank who?
You about this earlier, going back to the voting. That was broken down so well. If you didn't hear that, I hope this is on social media and somebody could hear at least that segment on YouTube if we still doing that.
Yeah.
That could be on that segment because you got 14 days, people, 14 days to get out there and make the best decision. Not if you're not going to vote for you, vote for your children, vote for your loved ones, vote for your parents because he want to cut out Social Security. He want to get rid of all of the sources that help low-income housing. He don't care about us. And, I'm just saying, vote for the right person. Vote for Kamala. You can't really direct someone, but if you, pay attention to what the man is saying because he laid his blueprint out for you. And it just hurts me to hear African-American men do not want to support her. That's just shocking more so than what he's doing. It's like, but you rather get on the bandwagon and support this man who don't give a bleep about you. Don't care at all whether you in a union or not. You look up, like you say, it took him, 12 years? He done laid the blueprint work out. He had a plan, and he's still going to have a plan when he get in office, and it doesn't include people of our color. So please get out there and vote. Don't let this slip by. If it's not religious based, get out here and vote.
Yeah, and I think, basically what we're trying to say is that I showed you a 12-year plan of something that was happening to take away voting privileges or your right to live, your right to choose your own decisions. And Trump has got this plan together. He's saying that he's not involved in that 2025 Project 2025, but he is, because a lot of the things that he's talking about or doing is in that book. And I talked about it earlier, and you're seeing all the news people are talking about it. I brought it up early. We were talking about that months in advance about the 2025 program project. And now you see everywhere news affiliates are talking about. But the thing about it is that I think what I want people to look at the history of the candidate. Trump is known to be a person that is very narcissistic, only thinks about himself, will turn against anybody that doesn't, follow him. He's looking for followers. He wants to rule over people. And you have to kiss the ring, dictator. You got to kiss the ring, and you don't want somebody like that. When you see a party of people, Republicans, who are going out and supporting Kamala over Trump, and you have generals and you have people in his office that are saying he's unfit to rule, to be a president, to rule, but he's unfit to be president. Listen to that, because whatever he says, I'll just end it with this. There was an old fable about the boy who cried wolf. And he would, say things, the wolf is there, the wolf is there. And then when the wolf actually came, the people didn't believe it. And, the wolf was able to devour someone. Trump is playing the boy who cried wolf. He's throwing things out there, and you're like, that's just Trump. That's just Trump. That's just Trump. And then all of a sudden you get Trump, and you're going to be wondering what happened. So we got to get out of here. Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you come back next week, 7 p.m. to catch me and Brenda on Let's Stay Together Talk Show. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. All right, everybody here on YouTube, Facebook, make sure you vote. Talk to your young people. Vote. Young people, get out there. Early voting. Find out where you're at and you need to vote, because we need you to vote. This is a very important election. And we'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m.